Hello and welcome to Railway World, your jewellery shop onto the very best of railway videos on the internet. And in amongst the diamonds, the rubies and the amethysts, we've got some real gems for you as we visit China, Great Britain and America. And also, inevitably, like the other queue always moving faster than the one you're in, we shall arrive at Train Crash of the Week. But let's start in China. Lovely film by Rob and Yu-Hung Dickinson there, and I hope I've pronounced the good Mrs. Dickinson's name correctly. They are a couple of documentary makers based in China. They produce some really nice stuff and we hope to feature it in the future here on the Railway Channel. We are going to stick with coal for the time being, and banking, I said mister, is what features in our next three clips. First of all, we're going to stay in China and a bit of banking with some steam locomotives. Okay, that's banking with steam engines, now banking with diesels here in Britain, where not as much banking goes on as used to, but it still happens on the Lickey Incline. Here are a couple of Class 66s making their way up. But the interest here really is in the foreground with the Hawk Magpie Dead Rabbit situation happening on the other track. There we go, a couple of 66s making their way up the Lickey Incline. Of course, in the States, just 2 engines. Don't be ridiculous. We use them on the front. We use 4 on the back. If you like the sound of diesels, that's one to really get you going, isn't it? Just the 6 locomotives making their way up that incline there in the United States. Here's something that might get your juices going if you like a bit of steam.
Somewhere in the silence of the night, a child slumbers peacefully. Somewhere, a child hears the sound of a train. The lonely wailing of the whistle, the long, heavy rush and rumble of the wheels.
The SPRHS in this restoration from day one has been to do our best to create an authentic restoration, as good a museum piece as we could. However, it's nothing unless it rolls out and the general public can see it. The engine is fully operational and we're fully compatible with the modern railroads. And yet, it's a 1927 steam locomotive. get the old girl out on the road and see the looks on people's faces. I mean, you couldn't knock their socks off any further if you drove a rocket ship down Main Street. People don't see things like this, and it's fun to see the looks on people's faces, see their eyes get big, and the smile. That's the basic philosophy of the organization. That's why it was put together, as an educational experience and to keep this kind of thing alive, so that people can see a steam engine actually doing what it's supposed to do. And it's interesting that they realize that at one time these things were as common as big rig trucks on the highway. And now they only come through town once every so often, if that. They're rare as can be.
Yes, there we go. I thought it prudent to play that clip right to the end, since I nicked it off the internet. And if you want to donate, of course, to keep that fine locomotive running, then you should do so. Now then, we come to Train Crash of the Week. And this week's clip comes from a programme called Top Gear here in the UK. Now, some may say he's a brilliant, verbose motoring journalist who's at the pinnacle of his career. Others will say he's a 6'3" bully who terrorises James and Richard every week. Him as the Clarkson.
Look at this idiot, caught on CCTV, larking about in his Reliant Robin. He was lucky not to kill someone. If we examine the footage more carefully, we see the really worrying thing. He wasn't even wearing a high-visibility jacket.
The trouble is that people have seen their grandparents driving through the red lights with no safety clothing at all and think it's okay for them to do it as well.
The figures make for appalling reading. There are 1,600 level crossings in Britain, and according to British Rail, or whatever they're called these days, many people are injured on them every year. You might think it's fun to jump the red lights. You might think it'll save you a few minutes.
You might think it's okay because your granddad's always doing it, or because you've got a Renault Espace, which has a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. But it's not all right, as I shall now prove with a gratuitous shot of a train smashing into the Espace at very high speed.
Hi, darling. I thought you could bring a high hat to me.
Quick. You drove like that on the public road, you deserve to be called a maniac! That's toast! That's bad! I'd quite like to see that again, in slow motion. And even slower. So that is how far the train went from, what, 70, 80 miles an hour?
The message, then, is clear.
Unless you want that to happen to you, always wear this. Thank you.
There we go, and of course to all those viewers that are watching this programme from around the world, you'll be somewhat bemused about what on earth was funny about that. You do need to have seen a few episodes of Top Gear, which is a very popular motoring programme here in the UK, to understand the little amount of humour that there was there in that clip. And that is it nearly for this week. If you want to contribute to next week or the week after, then please do so. mark@therailwaychannel.com is my email address. mark@therailwaychannel.com. Email me your clips. I'd love to hear from you, and I will leave you this week with a lovely rooftop journey in Ecuador. Cheerio.